Hello there. Sadiq Khan has once again dragged out his tired, old and scratched Brexit Extension LP and played it for his Remoaner audience. Firstly, please subscribe and like this video to give my channel a boost, and I'm always uploading new content, so please do check back daily. Yesterday, when there were just 4 days to go until extending the Brexit implementation period becomes impossible under the Withdrawal Agreement Treaty, Sadiq Khan posted an article in The Independent claiming, "We can't make a deal with the EU in the middle of a pandemic, whatever Boris Johnson tries to tell you." And he goes on to say that government needs to focus solely on the pandemic and must get a Brexit extension and deal with the talks later. And as ever, the "let's work together as Europeans on this pandemic" type of talk is also used. And he ends by saying, "It would not be a sign of weakness or failure to ask for an extension, but evidence that the government is willing to put the national interest ahead of political dogma." I would say it would be a sign of weakness to ask for an extension, and doing so would not be in the national interest. Now, it is a matter of fact that an extension is impossible under current UK law. The government has been ordered by Parliament via statute law not to ask for an extension and not to participate in the joint committee written procedure that could lead to an extension. And under the Withdrawal Agreement Treaty, which is international law and binding on both the UK and the EU, no decision to extend the Brexit implementation period can be taken after June the 30th. That's next Tuesday, which is only 3 days away. And the UK Parliament is only due to sit on Monday and Tuesday. So Sadiq Khan is actually asking for Boris Johnson to do a massive U-turn, change UK law and go cap in hand to the EU to get an extension, all in the space of a couple of days. Well, in the old Remainer Parliament days last year, all the stops would have been pulled out and all parliamentary precedent, protocols and rules would have been shredded in order to achieve just that, however weak and pathetic it looked to the rest of the world. But thankfully, Boris has put himself, his government and his party into a position where making such an abject and feeble surrender is unthinkable. So why on earth is Sadiq Khan bothering to pen such a piece so late in the day? I've got a better idea for him. Why not pen a piece to his police chiefs in his capacity as London Mayor and therefore Police and Crime Commissioner for the capital, telling them to get a grip? Instruct them that twerking and TikToking or whatever else they get up to is no longer acceptable. Tell them that they must start defending people and property. Because it seems to me that many of the police officers within the upper echelons are more busy playing inclusive and progressive political games than obeying the policy directives of the government and Parliament, and therefore the policy directions that come from us. And look where that's now got us. And Sadiq Khan's London is probably the worst advert for this type of reverse policing, where the victim gets treated worse than the perpetrator. Especially if they're on the wrong side of the current PC thinking. And when I say PC, I don't mean police constable. According to the Police Federation, every constable is an independent legal entity, the public's guarantee of impartiality. Officers of the Crown operate independent of undue influence, interference and with a personal responsibility which requires a unique type of person and commitment. And it explains that every one of them holds the office of constable irrespective of rank, and also that those who hold the office of constable are servants of the Crown. And they all make the following oath. I do solemnly and sincerely declare and affirm that I will well and truly serve the Queen in the office of Constable, with fairness, integrity, diligence and impartiality, upholding fundamental human rights and according equal respect to all people, and that I will, to the best of my power, cause the peace to be kept and preserved and prevent all offences against people and property, and that while I continue to hold the said office, I will, to the best of my skill and knowledge, discharge all the duties thereof faithfully according to law. And personally, I do have to say that recent events and an almost blatant bias in some quarters leads me to think that some of those constables in higher places are not following that oath. And by them not doing so, they put those lower down the ranks under them in the moral danger of also being forced to abandon their oaths. I mean, basing the decision of whether or not police officers are given access to riot gear on the perceived political leanings of the protesters is not good policing in my book, however unqualified it is. And the Police Federation also says the following: each sworn constable is an independent legal official, and each police officer has personal liability for their actions or inaction. The chief officer of the force to which the constable is attached also has a level of corporate responsibility. Ponder on that one. And then there's the London Mayor's Police and Crime Plan. Oh yes, there is one, although you could be fooled into thinking that Khan's just winging it. And the first paragraph in it says, "Safety is my highest priority as Mayor of London, and the foundation of London's success as a great place to live, work, visit and do business." Well, from what I can see, interfering in national politics and wasting his time calling for a Brexit extension is higher up his list of priorities than the safety of the capital's citizens. Maybe he should, instead, put his efforts into supporting the Met Police properly, and also in finding a chief constable that will take the firm action the public needs to see to regain public confidence. Especially as the population of London is actually just under 1/7 of that of England and Wales, but Khan's crime plan says London accounts for around 1/5 of recorded crime in England and Wales. And remember, London's not the only big city in England and Wales. Anyway, back to Khan's ludicrous demands for a Brexit extension. As I said, an extension is now all but impossible under current UK and international law. The only way to achieve it now would be to rewrite the Withdrawal Agreement Treaty or have a whole new treaty. Now, we can't possibly be doing that while fighting the pandemic, can we, Mr. Mayor? But an extension would be pointless and definitely counterproductive for the UK. At least we know at the moment that we leave the Brexit implementation period, come what may, at 11 p.m. on the 31st of December this year. An extension would throw more doubt and confusion on our economy and its businesses. And there's no guarantee that a deal would happen either. In fact, all that would happen would be that Brexit talks would be completely shelved for at least a year, while another excuse and mechanism was found to maintain the implementation period even longer. And all the while, the EU would still be pulling a vacuum on our fish stocks, making laws we cannot influence, and making deals around the world that disadvantage the UK, while we're hamstrung in the Brexit waiting room, hoping a passing Eurocrat will pop in to talk Brexit deals at some stage. And guess what? We'd be paying billions into the Brussels coffers for the privilege. Billions for continued use of their services and to pay for their pandemic recovery. Anyone who's taken even just a cursory glance at what the EU and our own Remainers have been up to over the last 4 years and more would realise that the EU would take advantage of any opportunity like a Brexit extension to get one over on us. If Sadiq Khan doesn't understand any of the above, then that would explain why our capital city is in such a mess. At least there is a chance he could be unseated in the local elections next May. The sense of the London electorate willing, of course. Anyway, if you want to hear more from me, please don't forget to subscribe and also press that little bell, or you won't get any notifications. And if you want to see more of me, buy a mug with my mug on it. So what do you think about Sadiq Khan demanding a Brexit extension? Please share and comment, and thank you for watching.